Hi everyone, my name is Simra and I am a student at Liberty University. I will be presenting my project on interpersonal communication today, which I completed for the course HSCO 508. Today I will be talking to you about interpersonal communication and what it means. Slide 2, I would also be talking to you about my overarching goals, enlarging the conversation, my personal background, behavioral blend, and positive and negative influence that it has on me. My potential barriers and solution, noise pollution, the external and internal effects of noise pollution, and my plan of action. Next slide. Interpersonal communication is the kind of conversation that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal, by Stewart 2012. Stewart also pointed out that communication not only involves you, but involves the persons which give and receive or talk and listen in ways that emphasize the uniqueness, responsiveness, reflectiveness, and addressability. When this takes place, communication becomes interpersonal, which also consists of inhaling and exhaling. Slide 4. My overarching master goals. It is to become a better listener and learn not to be judgmental and critical of others. With everything that I have learned throughout this class, it is time for me to make application with the understanding that change will happen gradually. Burley Allen made a great point about self-awareness, which can be achieved through listening to ourselves. When we hear the way we sound, we are shocked with the negative tone and internal dialogue. Slide 5. Enlarging the conversation. Enlarging my conversation is to make meaningful contact with others. How can I positively impact others with my conversation? Leaving the conversation knowing that both parties are satisfied. Stewart points out that there is a direct link between the quality of your communication and the quality of your life. Slide 6. As Stewart continue with enlarging the conversation. As Stewart pointed out the quality of our life, I want to make sure that my conversation is reflecting Jesus Christ and impacting others in a positive way. Colossians 4:6 reads, "Let your conversation be gracious and attractive so that you will have the right response for everyone." Having meaningful conversation involves level 1 listening, which involves 3 skill sets: focusing, encouraging, and reflecting. Stewart 2012. Slide 7. My background. I'm 39 years old, African American, a mother of 3 and 1 on the way, a wife, second oldest out of 7 children, strong-willed, heart of gold, giver, ambitious, and the love of Jesus Christ. Slide 8. I will talk about my behavioral blend. Carbonell 2008, when we understand our personality patterns, we will build better relationships and solve the people puzzle. He talks about the 4 basic temperaments, which is known as outgoing, task-oriented, people-oriented, and reserved. Continue slide 8. My behavioral blend consists of 2 personality types, which is what is expected of me, and this is me. What is expected of me is an SD, which is a steady doer, and this is me is a competent steady doer. The uniquely assessment behavior identify me as cautious, stable, and determined. Slide 9. My behavioral blend breakdown. What is expected of me? Steady doer. Dominant, submissive, flexible, somewhat confusing, serving, laid back, sometimes not motivated, clear vision, move slowly. And this is me. Competent, steady doer, task-oriented, care about people but don't show it openly, don't like to speak in front of crowds, get the job done with smaller groups, serious, misunderstood, insensitive. Slide 11. Positive influence and behavioral blend. My positive influence is flexible and available. Love to work in smaller groups. Care for people. Stable, determined, submissive, loyal, respected for being fair. Many people sees me as steel and velvet, which combines into a great blend, according to Carbonell 2008. Slide 12, negative influence behavioral blend. I tend to be stubborn, very demanding, need to be more friendly, articulate my words. I am confusing at times, which give mixed messages. I can be dictatorial. I should demonstrate analytical and investigative efforts along with more emotion and expression, according to Carbonell 2008. Slide 13. My potential barriers. Stewart 2012 point out fear of rejection when involved in self-disclosure. That's one of my potential barriers. He said a healthy relationship are built on self-disclosure. I am very cautious with whom I self-disclose with, and this might be hindering me from building relationships. Peterson 2007 also points out sharing feeling is risky, but it is worth it. Demanding and confusing come from not listening at a level 1. I need to work on becoming empathetic listener, as Burley Allen 1995 points out that listening at this level will help me place myself in the talker position and refrain from judging them. He also points out that listening at level 1 promotes quality information that can in turn give you a better chance of being in charge of a situation and influencing the outcome of that situation. Slide 14, my potential barriers continue. I'm working on making sure that I'm not causing any misunderstanding. Stewart 2007 talks about nexting, becoming aware that I can change a negative conversation into a positive by what I say next. My confusing others can also be helped when I listen better. And one of the techniques that I plan to use is the talker listener card. Peterson points out the role of talking and listening is substantially different. Understanding and using these tools will help me in my relationships. Slide 15, noise pollution. We're constantly on an everyday basis bombarded with internal and external noises that hinder our ability to be an empathetic listener, listening at a level 1. Goins and Hagler points out how noise pollution interferes with our sleep, our communication, our concentration, and our recreation. The two types of noise pollution are internal and external. Slide 16, internal noise pollution. Fatigue, hearing, negative thoughts, emotional listening can all be an issue of internal noise pollution. My solution for that is concentrating on what the talker is saying at the time that they're speaking, getting the necessary rest that I need in order to be able to be fully attentive for when the talker is speaking to me. Learning to process what the talker is saying actually by using the TLC card. Repeating the information to make sure that even if the person have an accent, if I repeat the information, I can make sure that I'm truly understanding what the talker is saying at the time that they're speaking. Slide 17, we'll talk about external noise solution. Multitasking, loud noise, watching my clock, like every minute you're watching your clock. Deadlines, time pressure, you have too much things going on at one time. Speaking, the person that is talking is very monotone, or they either have an accent and you can't understand what they're saying. So those are some of the barriers. My solution for that is focusing on one task at a time. Get in a place where there's no noise distraction. Not allowing my clock and my watch to distract me from the talker and giving the talker the respect that they deserve. Making sure that I'm available and not pressed for time. Repeat what the talker is saying so that I can have a better understanding of what the talker is presenting to me. Slide 18, plan of action. First of all, is prayer for me. Prayer for help with listening, my listening and communication weaknesses. Overcoming my fear of self-disclosure and starting to be real with people around me. Humility, humbling myself more. learning to be open with others about the way I feel and not being afraid of large crowds, being used, being careful in who I disclose myself to, making meaningful communication to help build healthy and strong relationship in my life, being mindful that I can always control what I say next, and a negative conversation can be turned into a positive by what I say, showing myself friendly to others, and truly working on becoming an empathetic listener. Slide 19, my plan of action continue. I plan to definitely implement the Talk a Listener card with my friends and family, because I think that this tool is so important for me, and it will help me to reach to the level that I need to be when it comes to listening and then not interrupting, avoid interrupting when people are talking to me, and try not to be so demanding and controlling. Don't always have to go my way. So those are the things that I'm asking God to help me with, and I understand that it will take time, gradually. Slide number 20 is my conclusion. Ephesians 4:2-3. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love, and making every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Understanding the way that I communicate and listen is very important to me. I want to build healthy relationships. I want to build strong relationships. I was able to see my strengths and weaknesses in these life skills that I have learned throughout this course, and I understand the way that I communicate and listen affects others. It could be positive, it can be in a negative way. As I self-reflect all that I've learned, I understand this process does take time, but nothing is impossible for God. Every book for this course will stay with me for life, so that I can also pass it on to my children then, so that they can be better listeners and they can be better communicators. Thank you.